Welcome to Katie Custom Woodworking. I'm Kevin Dunphy. We're here today. We're finally getting the front done. We're taking off the old siding and we're going to be putting in new windows. We're going to go over some painting techniques and some of the windows and siding. We made a decision. We changed our siding and we'll show a little later on what siding we decided on. And the big thing with this was taking off, you kind of cross your fingers. We could see on the inside if there was any rot, but you always look on the outside if the wood is punked or anything, meaning really soft and it can't really hold any moisture when it gets like that. And it was fine. They only used tar paper in some spots. They didn't have enough tar paper and they put wallpaper over it. Yeah, wallpaper. Okay, so I'm on the outside. I'm way up today. What a beautiful day. It's man. Yeah, look at that sky. That's the real color that we have. We have no pollution. Thank you very much. Um, Now I'm hitting here. I have my beams. Everything looks really good. Like we go along, do a quick inspection. I'm kind of holding and not looking at the camera, so you'll understand why. So, remember the other video we saw, the notches? Now, look at that. That's sitting on top there, going all the way down. And I mean, it's insane. Here I am worried about it tipping a bit. Yeah, right. Um, but you're always cautious. There's a little bit of rot up there, so they're good. The only one here is right here. It's just kind of sitting right here. I'm not happy about that one, and that's a good beam. I need that one, so I'll have to get in here and hook. So I got to make my ledge. I took off the top piece here, and I'm glad I did. Now, I got to get something to offset here. And away we go. All right. I'm out here on the side of Atlantic. I'm holding on with you. Dawson's laughing, but it couldn't be further from the truth in a lot of ways. You got to be careful in day like today. It's supposed to clear up. This is the remnants of the hurricane. And for us, having this warm weather is perfect. Now, if you see up here, what I did, and I showed it all here. I think I have a couple of videos. We're not having as much because it's a little dicey. I'm not a videographer. We're renovators, and we try to be craftsmen, and we're trying to save this old house. So if we hiccup along the way with our video, I'd rather give you the real experience than showing, putting music in behind and all the other stuff and saying like we did this in a day. No, this took a long time. We're 2 years into this now. Not every day. I took a couple of months off, did some other jobs. I got a little cabinet work built, but it is 2 years. So what we've done, we saved the eaves up here. You can see here, we got the old rafters. This one was rotten, but right here, you can see this one. We managed to get our 2x6 under, catching that weight. And what this does here is, if you watch the other video with the attic, we have 2x6s coming. We have the other attic, the wall up there, coming down, hitting like that, putting weight all here, but at the same time, this is taking the weight. And what this does is going here, but then we have the old beams that want to push out, right? So now, with all this is going to stop it. And then we'll go on the inside with 2x6s. And then what that does is, if any, like, I don't have all of these, so I've skipped a few. So we did have to add structure. And so now you got weight here keeping press. So those sticks that are sticking up, that were going like this, now won't.
I can't see where the old one is.
It'll be to the far right here where the building ends.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, I see it. Yep.
All right, so I have Dawson there. We're just putting structural bolts in the beams, and you can see here, this is pretty cool, eh? Like if you saw the other videos, how we're sitting. This is going to be propped up in about next week. So if this makes sense, what I said, So those are just sticks sitting up there, and they relied on the wood now. Now we got it from both sides. I didn't put structural bolts there. I was afraid of splitting the wood. Like, you know, you put too many there. But I am out here. So Dawson's right here. And these are the screws that he's putting in. Molding day. One of the happiest days of the project. Prince is in there cutting. And I'm out here freezing my ass off. So, but no, the only reason is I just feel more comfortable out here doing it. I've always installed. And I'm just getting prints organized, like getting all the parts ready. We cut them all down there. What I find with the plastic molding, it's a godsend in the sense I've done some exterior and, you know, gets weathered. It's a lot of work keeping it up sometimes. And if you're in humid areas, it's like you're forever painting. This stuff I will paint when we're done. I'm gonna use a flat paint and it'll be PVC rated. And I'm just going here on the side. Now we came up with a pattern. We both like it. I am anyways. But I was also a guy who liked the gray siding.
I like the gray too.
I know, it was simple, but we're Vito. They want to go like color, you know, etc.
Jelly bean row.
First impressions. This is the first coat. It's been a little over an hour. A little bit of raise. That's the dirt and the dust, and I'm okay with that. Looks really good though. I got the sheen I wanted, nice and flat. You see my holes here. I haven't decided yet if I'm really going to fill them. If you ever have to take it off, at least you know where the screws are. It can make life a lot easier if you have problems with the window. So the jury's out on that one. But yeah, it's really nice, this paint. I mean, look at it here. We got like a winter sky. It's drizzly. You know, you're not going to have your best conditions. And if I wait any longer, I might have one day out of all of them. So I've got the windows all done. The other day, I put caulking all around. I use this like a Duraflex Ultra, or there's another brand I have in there, a Dab. They can work between like minus 16 and 60 degrees Celsius, which is insane. I mean, it's because right now I'm at a fall day. It was really cold the other day. We had the wind north from the ocean. It just bites right through. Today's beautiful. I'm really looking forward to painting now. I couldn't wait to get off the ladder. I had long johns on, jacket, everything else. So our window is very, pardon the pun, is very limited. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just go light. It's PVC I'm doing. What I did is I put caulking here, and I put a little paste there. Now I'm going to get it ready. Because all this stuff will telegraph. And if I miss, like here, if I'm not deep enough, and it shows after, I'll put a little epoxy in there. There's a little 2-part epoxy I can use, or something a little more drastic, just to make sure. And there's a couple here, like I missed that. So I'll get this after the primer. And that's the secret to something like this, is prep. Prep. It's a bitch of a job. And I'm doing it before the siding. You're going really dark blue siding, I'm going white. I'm just keeping it simple. I like the look. I I was gonna go gray, but that's another story. And I like their choice. I got the boys down below. I'm doing all. Well, I only have 3 windows here in the front, and they're down below doing all the framing, and they're doing a really, really good job. Here's the paint I'm using. It's a bonding primer, glass, glossy finishes, tile, everything for the PVC. Some of it you say you can use the 3-in-1 or 2-in-1. I'm not a fan. I've seen problems with it on wood, and it's not. It's great interior, but exterior no. And this stuff, whoa, nice and thick. And I can really, like I'm getting right now, just kind of going in here in the gaps. And man, it did nice. Almost looks sprayed. Only because PVC is so smooth. I'm going to give 2 primers. And my pinholes that were there, where I used the pin nailer, I'm going to have to fill them. Just fill them with paint. The only part I got to watch is this part here. I got to be not so... Why am I painting it where I left the back alone? I get different PVCs. One's glossy, one's high, and it's out in the front. And when that molding comes in, siding, I want this to look really sharp. I want this to really scream. And if you do drag a little dust, just let it dry it, because we're going to sand in between. Okay, siding day. I'm taking a break from the house. I'm set up. There's my table. There's my paint. I'm not here to promote Bear or anything. I got them because, you know, I get good deals with them. And I have used Aurora, and Aurora's great. Now, we're all down here, and we're just laying it down. We're right at the cutoff point. It's about 36 degrees, 6 Celsius, in that range. You can go to 2 Celsius, or about 34 Fahrenheit. And what I like to do, because a lot of the factory stuff gets, what's the word, like they say, oh yeah, it's better to spray, etc., factory finish. But the factory finish on a lot of this stuff, because they're using a lot of times recycled products and not really using real wood. And I just want to show you, because a lot of this stuff makes sense. Over the years, I've doing it a while, and I've seen, a lot of stuff come and go. A lot of stuff, stuff disappeared, and a lot of salesmen with a lot of grain. Let's go up close. Is raised. I picked a rough edge on purpose. We use spruce because I've used pine in the past, and sometimes the knots really bleed through, and they can be a real problem. And we go with the roller. Look at this. So I'm rolling that in, and as you can see, the fibers just opening, closing, sucking that paint in. But this paint will let the siding breathe, which is so important. It's keeping things wet. Moisture gets in behind. This will always be at maybe 30-60% moisture in the wood at any given time. And I'm going to show you this. I did this 12 years ago. I painted it about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It needs to be done. But I just want to show you the detail that we did here. I used a metal flashing on top of the wood. So when anything dripped down, it would stay there. And it's open on the bottom so air can get in. And it kind of keeps, Everything nice. But the big thing we're going to show on our install, see right there? You don't see one nail on the outside. The worst thing I see with this siding is they use those galvanized nails and leave the heads out, and then the water just sits there. And we spend a lot of time with the caulking here. You know, that's the key. We're keeping the water out. I'm not letting water drip in behind here. The only water that will be in there would be a little bit of sweating from the insulation. And we put strapping here. This is kind of one section I didn't finish, but I got to cut that out. And the air will go right up in there and let that breathe. So that's it. And that's really it. Like, I'm going to show you again. Let's get another close-up. All right? Look at that, eh? I'm just rubbing it in. Now, I have a huge spraying setup. Everybody knows it. But I wouldn't spray it. You know, I would not spray this. I would rub this into the wood till the wood can't drink it. And it's that simple. And that's my thoughts. I've been doing it for a while now. And I've had a lot. I'm seeing it like, look at all this. The only thing that's coming through are those knots. See right there? That section's pine. The other section below is spruce. I changed midway. I thought I was, you know, it's because locally it doesn't sell much. And then sometimes I go to the store, they have spruce, they have pine. So, and I buy a load, get it ready. And so things do change, but this is going to last easily 40, 50 years if you just keep painting it. I don't see, you know, I don't see any problems whatsoever. The worst part was the old days. They used to use leaded paint, plastic paint, and the wood didn't breathe in behind, and it just peeled off all the paint. And that was a problem. Then if you tried to paint, half of it was the paint peeling off. But with the latex, it fades and burns off. You know, right now it's starting to burn off here. This needs to be painted. You know, so every 4 or 5 years, that's the only drawback with this stuff. They will have to paint. All right. I'm ready to close up. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm showing windows, I'm showing this. I got the boys here putting the frame in. And what the frame does, and what they're going to do is basically take all this weight, you know, all the way down into the concrete. This is the ledge that we put down last year. We have the wood tripled here. We're a little less here, about an inch here. I think the bait, because I think the floor is going to come up to about here. Here's my line. So I like the concrete to take that. If not, I'm going to put another 2x6 in there. We put it in there, but the concrete went a little higher, so I'd have to rip it. It's a bit of a pain. And then we'll do all our framing for the windows. Right now, we're just kind of getting this going. The insulation, the cellulose, a lot of people use, and you can feel the moisture. We were lucky it didn't destroy this building. Like if it destroyed this here, this whole thing would have collapsed. The other thing they did here was, man, oh man, wood chips. Look at this, eh? Those are all wood shavings. Probably when they did the house. They were shaving their wood, trimming it, you know, because you guys are like boat builders. They didn't waste anything. So probably had some helper there, probably some 13-year-old, 12-year-old running around, taking all the wood shavings, filling the cavities, you know, to keep the insulation out. The only thing is, man, that's like rocket fuel if it goes. So we'll end up grounding this up into our soil. It's going down in here for the archaeologists to find it later, and they can figure it out. And that's where it's going. Because you take it, you just crumble it. So it's so important with these old houses to open them up like this. And they become hugely expensive. Like we're doing here, somebody wants to buy the house next door, and they're like, oh, I'm going to leave the wood floor in, I'm going to leave that in. You really want that behind a wall and put drywall over that? How would you sleep at night? I don't know. I know I wouldn't sleep. You know, you have one little spark. And so we're onward next week. We're going to get the siding. I got them. We're all working as a team. I'm doing all the finicky, crappy stuff. They want me out of their way they said they're faster without me.
Oh my
Right? Less instruction.
Jesus.
And they're having a good time. They're taking pride. They're starting to see it. And I'm like a proud papa now. So that's it. We're onward. Kick ass.
Hey, hey.